yelled to the 5 women still stranded on
that's
their
all I'm
rock
gonna do. Hey, yo, y'all might wanna, you know what I'm saying? That's it.
And Rachel, who at this point was completely safe, immediately jumped into the raft.
God is forgiving.
Mercy and grace.
Might as well test it.
Siren.
On the morning of Monday, February 6th, 2017, a group of 7 friends who were all college-aged and living in New Zealand began packing up their cars and getting ready to drive back to Auckland, the biggest city in New Zealand. The night before, the group had been out on Lake Tikitapu for a big concert called Flocella, where audience members would listen to the music while floating around on big blow-up rafts and floats. After the concert had ended, the group of friends had left the lake and headed to a nearby relative's house where they had a quiet after party with a couple of drinks, and then everyone went to bed a little bit after midnight. This morning, the group had gotten up early because they wanted to get on the road as soon as possible to try to beat the holiday traffic that was sure to crop up that day on the way back to Auckland. February 6th is a big national holiday in New Zealand. It's called Waitangi Day, and it's to commemorate the initial signing of the Treaty of Waitangi, which is considered to be the founding document of the country. But right as the 7 friends had finished packing up their 3 cars and were getting ready to begin their 3-hour drive north to Auckland, one of the friends, a 21-year-old named Rachel De Jong, suggested they take a quick detour before they head back home. Rachel, along with another girl in this group of...
See, this is why you stay on the path, all right? Life, you stay on the road, all right? Read the road signs and continue down.
Friends named Maddie had several months earlier discovered this secret swimming spot that was located only about 15 minutes away from where they were now, and it happened to be on the way back to Auckland. This swimming spot was this beautiful green-blue pool of fairly deep water that was located in the middle of a forest. This pool was actually a part of the Waikato River. However, this stretch of the river where the pool was either very shallow or dry most of the time. So as a result, this pool actually looked like a standalone body of water. While there was no official trail that led through the forest to this pool of water, there was an unofficial trail. This is why you don't play with water, bro. Basically a dirt trail that cut through the woods that had formed over the years of locals tromping their way to this pool of water. After hearing Rachel's suggestion, the group of friends all agreed that this sounded like a great idea. And so the group piled into their 3 cars, and then by around 11:40 a.m., Rachel and Maddie had directed the convoy all the way to the start of this unofficial dirt trail, which was located right on the side of a winding main road. After pulling their cars safely off to the side of the road, the group got out, and then Rachel and Maddie led them to the start of this trail, and they began walking through the forest. 15 minutes later, at 11:55 a.m.,
I want to know why they're going
was getting very close to the water because the trees up ahead were starting to thin out. But also at 11:55 a.m., the group suddenly stopped because from somewhere out in the forest, way off in front of them, came this loud, shrill siren sound. And it went on for nearly 20 or 30 seconds, and then it just came to a stop. And the group kind of looked around at each other. No one knew what to make of the siren, and so eventually...
So none of the 7 people said, look, you know what, maybe we should go back. I don't know what that was, and maybe we don't need to find out, all right?
Eventually, they just kind of
course not,
shrugged it off and kept on walking. Within a minute of that siren sound coming to an end, the group had made it to the end of this unofficial dirt track, which placed them at the edge of this beautiful overlook down to the pool they were going to swim in. And so they began one by one climbing down the rocks in front of them where there were some ropes that had been put up to help people climb down to the water. And so after they got down to the water, all of them stripped down to their bathing suits, they jumped into the pool, and they began swimming out towards the center of the pool where there were these 2 big rocks that jutted up out of the water, almost like miniature islands. And so Rachel and the other women, so 5 of them, they climbed onto one of the rocks, and the 2 men who were part of this group climbed onto the other rock. And so they got up onto these rocks and they're looking around, taking in the sights, and then at 11:58 a.m., another siren blasts across the forest. It's the same sound as the one they heard 3 minutes earlier when they were on the dirt track. And so once again, all 7 of them are kind of looking at each other wondering, what is this siren about? But
Bro.
after the 20 or 30-second long siren came to an end, they glanced around them and there was no sign of any danger. There was no sign of really anything happening at all. It was just this beautiful, peaceful seeming oasis. And so before long, they had forgotten about the siren again, and Rachel had gotten out her camera.
You had 2 sirens in 3 minutes and you forgot about it? Listen, whatever happens to you next, hey man.
And she was taking pictures, and others were taking pictures as well. And then 2 minutes later, at 12 p.m., the siren sounded for a 3rd time. Now, at this point, the group has heard the siren 2 other times. And even though the sound of the siren was kind of jarring because it was so high-pitched and shrill and really cut into their ears, this time, because they've heard it 2 other times and
They
nothing
decided
happened,
to leave?
they all pretty much immediately wrote it off. So the siren's sounding for the 3rd time, and the group is not really paying attention. But when the siren finally stops this 3rd time, something very different began to happen, and the group immediately noticed it.
The Loch Ness Monster gonna pop up, bruh.
Now, I know everyone has a lot to do to prepare for International Pet and Electric Eel Day. From the eel cigarettes to lure the slippery, cuddly little creatures out of the murky deep, to the mega-sized pack of ace bandages
The
you'll
what?
need for post-shock wound care, there's a lot you need to enjoy this holiday. But what always happens when you fire up your wood-fired laptop and begin looking for these items? You get hit with a pull-up! Bah! 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 But don't worry, you can get back to doing what you love, petting electrically charged animals in the name
Is that a real holiday?
of tradition
I need
if
to
you
know.
just use NordVPN. A VPN
Hey, look, he got us. He got us. Hey, look, over there, link in the description. You know what I'm saying? Over on his channel, link this channel down below. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go check out that NordVPN.
purchase all of your levels or 4 additional months for free with Nord's 30, or click the link in the description. Okay, back to the story. When the 3rd siren came to a stop, the friends started to hear a new sound, and it was coming from the same direction the siren had been coming from, which in effect was upstream. Even though this river was basically dry, they could turn and look uphill, and they could clearly see where the river would go if it was full. And so the friends turn and look upstream, and they're listening to this really loud kind of smashing sound that's coming from that direction, and they're exchanging curious looks at each other, trying to figure out what that sound could be. And then all of a sudden, they see it. A white wall of water comes crashing around the corner
Oh, that's
and
tough.
begin barreling
They don't-
straight down the riverbed
Is there a dam up there that they opened up? That's what happened?
towards them. By the time the friends had even processed what they were seeing, the water had reached the pool they were in.
Oh, they're
It was
done.
flooding the pool so quickly, they could literally see this huge pool rising. Its water levels were going up and up and up all around them. And so as the rocks they're standing on began to slowly submerge under all this rising
They're
water,
done.
the group collectively decided that this can't go on for very long. Whatever this is, it's gonna stop, so just stay put, stay on these rocks, we're gonna be okay. However, within seconds, the rocks they were on were completely submerged, and the water was still tumbling down the hill towards their pool, and then spilling out over the other side down the other end of the riverbed. And they're thinking to themselves, if we don't get off these rocks soon, we're gonna get swept downstream with this water. And so the 2 men who were on their own rock, they leapt to a rocky outcropping that was slightly higher up
Hey.
and was connected back up to the forest.
Like I tell y'all, in the event that I ever get chased by, you know what I'm saying, a serial killer, you know what I'm saying, a freaking monster, or, you know, any dangerous, hey, once danger appears, it's every man for himself. All right? Them boys got up out of there, okay?
And so this rocky outcropping represented safety. And so once they were up there, they turned around and they yelled to the 5 women still stranded
Yep,
on
that's
their
all I'm
rock
gonna do.
to
Hey, yo, y'all might want to, you know what I'm saying? That's it.
try to swim over to them, and the guys would grab them and pull them to safety. Stranded on their rock to try to. They turned around and they yelled to the 5 women still stranded on their rock to try to swim
Oh, to
over
try
to
to
them,
swim,
and the guys
okay.
would grab them and pull them
I thought he said they were going to swim over there. That's not happening.
to safety. But by this point, the girls are looking around, the water's up to their knees, and it's rushing past them. They can barely keep their balance. They know if they attempt to swim in this water, they're going to immediately be taken downstream with it. it. And so the group very quickly decides their only choice is for the women to literally jump and grab the men who have their
this
arms
is a real
outstretched
video?
for them. And
Crazy.
so Rachel DeJong, she was the first one to try this. She leaps off the rock, she grabs the guy's arms, and she gets pulled to safety. And then
Okay.
she turns around, and she and the other two men continue to get the women to jump off the rock to them. And at first, it's going fairly well until they get down to the second to last woman who leaps. She grabs one of the guy's arms, and then
slips.
both of them lose their footing, and the guy and the woman, they both get swept away downstream. They're gone. Rachel stays calm, and she
No,
moves
sir.
to the position where the guy had been who just got swept away, and she takes out her GoPro camera selfie stick, and she extends it out to the last woman who's out on the rock. Her name is Alice. And she tells Alice, jump and grab the selfie stick. And so Alice, who's almost completely submerged in water now, makes this frantic jump to grab onto the selfie stick.
Okay.
She grabs it for a second, but then
And it
loses her
breaks.
grip, and she begins being swept away. And Rachel, who at this point was completely safe, immediately jumped into the rapids.
You the reason we here in the first place. So I understand you got to save. You should feel obligated a little bit. Me personally, listen, I'm at safety. Look, hey, God, you my guy. All right. Sorry it had to be them, but I'm gonna stay right here on these rocks. On God.
After Alice. She grabbed Alice, she attempted to turn around and grab the rock to stop them, but she couldn't get a grip. And she and Alice were also swept downstream out of
Crazy.
view. 2 weeks before Rachel, Maddie, Alice, and the others had gone to this secret swimming spot, a warning sign, like a physical warning sign that warned people not to go near this river, don't go near this pool, was stolen. And that warning sign was normally placed at the very beginning of that unofficial dirt track that the seven friends took to get to the pool. Meaning, when the seven friends got out of their cars and began
They didn't
hiking
see
into the
the-
forest to go to this pool, they would not have understood the danger of where they were going. Now, it is true that Rachel and Maddie had previously discovered this swim spot several months earlier. However, it seems like they had just learned that this swim spot existed and
Steve,
how
what's
to
good, my
get to
boy?
it. It did not seem like they had literally walked this trail and gotten to the pool, and so very likely they would not have known about the dangers this place posed. The pool of water they were swimming in was not actually dangerous itself. It was only dangerous because the pool was located in the middle of a spill zone. About 650 feet upstream of the pool they were swimming in is a dam, and 3 to 4 times a day, they open their gates, releasing 20,000 gallons of water per second down this mostly dry riverbed.
second?
And the water comes careening across that pool all the way to the bottom. The gates stay open for about 15 minutes, and the only reason this is done is for the spectacle of it. It's to show tourists what this riverbed looked like before the dam was built. And what this riverbed looked like before the dam was built was a raging rapid on February 6th,
Like, imagine you had to put GG's in the chat for yourself. You spamming F to pay respect to yourself because they were just showing how what the water used to look like. Hey,
2017.
y'all had 3 sirens in about 10 minutes.
The
is
dam
what it
was set
is.
to spill at 12 p.m. So those sirens the friends heard at 11:55, 11:58, and then 12 were all warnings that a spill was about to occur. But of course, the 7 friends had no idea. After the 12 p.m. spill had finally ended, the 3 friends who had made it to the rocky outcropping and had not been swept away by the current went looking for the 4 other friends who had been swept away, and they would find them. 3 had miraculously survived,
Okay.
but 1 had not.
Who was it? Who was it? The girl who had made them go down there? Let's see.
The sole fatality was 21-year-old Rachel DeJong, whose idea it was to come and swim at this spot in the first place.
Hey, all I'm saying is, God knew what he was doing, bro. He said, look, listen, the rest of y'all gonna make it to safety. You, big fella, with the bright ideas, you're done. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Rachel DeJong. I mean, no disrespect, okay? You know what I'm saying? We here for the comedy. You know what I'm saying? And the... Why am I trying to clean it up, bro?
Rachel also was the woman who had left safety and jumped back into the rapids to attempt to save her.
Bro, look, the video, literally, she ignored the warning signs, okay? That's what the video title. That's it.
friend Alice. Today, there are many more warning signs and fences that have been put up around the Waikato
those.
River to prevent people from getting too close, because the dam still, despite the fatality, spills several times a day. However, despite all these precautions and all the notoriety around Rachel's death, people still today sneak in and go swimming in that secret pool.
Listen, at your own risk, bro. That's why I don't play with water. I don't play with water. All right? They created pools for a reason. You can safely swim in this water. You go to the beach, you know what I'm saying, type joint. You can do a little tubing. I've been to Helen, done mad tubing, okay? Other than that, unless it says, hey, swim here, I ain't going.
So that's going to do it. If you got something out of this episode and you haven't done this already, please send
Oh, yeah, we gotta hit that like button, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?